God is doing miracles. I have a testimony for you. This is just so cool. Earlier this year, Brother Copeland was ministering here, and he did a prayer line, and I was in pain that night, and so I decided I'm going to come up for prayer. So I got in the line. It was a really long line. I think everybody came up for prayer, and the house was filled. How many of you were there that night? And it was just so awesome. I thought, this is my church. I'm in pain. I'm going up. Take all the limitations off. I'm not going to hold back. I'm just going to go for it. So I'm in line, and I'm in line, and I'm in line, and it was just so sweet. Kenneth and Glory were just ministering one-on-one with everybody that was coming up. And so I was waiting. Finally, I was there, and I stepped up in front of Brother Copeland to get prayed for, and I'm all ready. And Brother Copeland went to lay hands on me, and then he left me and walked out to the audience like this. I thought, oh no, you're not done, are you? But he walked out to the audience, and he began saying something that he said this last Sunday morning. He said, we don't make enough of the stripes of Jesus. We don't talk enough about the stripes of Jesus, about what he bore on his body to pay for our healing. And he preached this whole mini sermon on the stripes of Jesus, and then he came back and he laid hands on me and he prayed for me. And the pain left that night. But what he didn't know, and what nobody else knew, is that underneath my clothes, I was covered with stripes because I had gotten poison ivy. And it was all over my abdomen, it was all over my arms, it was all over my legs, it was on my neck, under my collar, and you couldn't see it because I had my clothes on, but thank God. But it was painful and it hurt, and I came up for prayer, and just before he laid hands on me, he said, stripes. And I'm like, I love it when God does that. Because you know what? God knows. God knows what you're going through. God knows what you're dealing with. God knows what's happening in your life. And, I had not given that testimony, and I wanted to give that testimony to you because God knows what your situation is, and God knows exactly how to take care of it. Amen?